Hey guys, Josh from SoccerReviewsForYou.com, bringing you my review plus on-feet video of the Nike Hypervenom Phantom 2 in the Radiant Reveal Pack colorway. Now included with the shoes is of course a string bag, which is black in color, black strings, and features white Nike branding on both sides. They also include this little tag that essentially lets you know that the black graphic printed on the bottom of the sole plate, something we've seen on many colorways of the Hypervenom Phantom already, will wear off over time, not going to affect the performance, but something that they do warn you about with this little tag. And then of course you get the shoes themselves. Now in today's video, we are of course going to take a closer look at the colorway, all the little details here, because this is a really interesting colorway overall, especially if you're looking for something that's going to be fairly vibrant out there on the field. We're going to talk performance, tech specs, we're going to take a look at the weight of the shoe, as well as talk about how they fit and feel on feet. So if you're interested in learning more, please stick around and watch the entire video. If you're interested in a pair for yourself, click the very first link down below in the description. That's going to take you to the review page on my website, where you will find buy it now links with exclusive SR4U coupon codes. We'll be able to pick these up below their normal $275 retail. So again, if you're interested in a pair, first link down below, check it out. And with that being said, let's get right into the review. To start things off, let's take a closer look at the colorway. Now, just like the rest of the Radiant Reveal Pack, you do have a white base to the shoe, and then you have a combination of neon yellow or Volt from Nike, orange, as well as pink, where as you guys can see at the heel, it starts off as Volt and then fades to orange and then fades to pink. It's a really cool effect on this particular shoe. It looks great against the white base. It really does pop. Unfortunately, the white will get dirty over time. It's going to be just one of those things that's always tough to keep clean. That's just white shoes in general. But given that the upper doesn't really have any stitching, if you keep up with cleaning them, they will stay relatively white for a pretty long time. The actual coloring itself, I think, looks really good. I know not everyone's a fan of the actual kind of Hypervenom kind of crackle graphic, if you want to call it that, but I personally don't think it looks bad, especially on this particular colorway. On the sole plate, you can see it's really cool how it fades from pink to orange to Volt yellow. And then of course you do have that crackle pattern printed on in black as well, which will wear off over time, so keep that in mind. And then of course you do have a solid black Nike swoosh at the front, solid black Nike swoosh at the back, solid black laces, and then the actual exposed Flyknit is kind of like a black and gray combo, and then the mid layer, as you guys can see when it actually stretches out, is orange, which is kind of a cool little detail that you don't really see in the online pictures, but as you guys can see, it is actually there in real life. So that's pretty much it as far as the colorway is concerned. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. I think this is a pretty good looking colorway of the Phantom 2, but let me know what you think. You love it, you hate it, why or why not? And with that being said, let's move on to the tech specs so we can learn a little bit more about the overall performance. As far as performance is concerned, the Phantom 2 is an acquired taste, I guess is the best way to put it. So we're going to go over the basic performance characteristics and I guess feel characteristics when it comes to the Phantom 2 in this video that are pretty important to know if you are considering these. But if you do want more info, if you want to see the shoes in action, I'll leave an annotation on screen to my playtest video, so you can go ahead and check that out if you haven't already. Now with this shoe, you do of course get the Nike Skin upper, which is a textile-based synthetic. You can kind of see some of the material there in the middle between the liner and the actual top layer of Nike Skin polyurethane. I know that's a little bit of a confusing situation, but I don't make up the names for Nike. Nonetheless, it's a very dense textile base that has a very rigid feel once you add the liner and the top layer as well. So if you're looking for softness from your shoe, you don't get that from the Hypervenom Phantom 2 in any way at all. The upper will become more flexible and move a little bit better with your feet over time as you break them in, but they'll never feel soft and they'll never feel cushioned. It's just not that type of material. It has, like I said, a firmer kind of rigid sensation, which isn't a bad thing. It's just not for everybody. If you like that kind of structured, reinforced feel on your foot, that's kind of what these things are all about. So as far as other aspects of the upper are concerned, it is obviously on the thinner side, so the touch that it provides is definitely going to be more of a thin barefoot sensation, a very pingy feel, if you will. It's probably the second thinnest shoe that Nike makes at the moment. The only thing that's thinner is the Nike Mercurial Vapor 10. And then of course you do have some texturing on the surface of the upper as well, which doesn't really have any impact on the overall feel in my opinion. Plus you get ACC all conditions control, acting as kind of Nike's wet control element. You get this on all the top end models from Nike, but not a major feature in my opinion either. You're also going to find that flywire cables reinforce the upper on both the lateral and medial side, running from the base of the sole into the lacing system. So when you pull the laces tight, it pulls on the upper, it pulls on these cables, and really does a fantastic job of securing your foot in place inside of the shoe. If you're looking for an extremely responsive one-to-one sensation from your shoe, honestly, nothing does it better right now than the Phantom 2 or the Finish. It really is that responsive, it's that locked down, and really there's no movement from the upper whatsoever when you push off and make those quick cuts and changes of direction. Laces are off-centered, as you guys can see, being pushed slightly to the lateral side of the shoe. Given that this is a Phantom 2, it does have the mid-cut collar. If you don't want that, you just want a traditional low cut, you can go for the Finish model like I mentioned. Internal plastic heel counter, the tongue area is elasticated Flyknit as well. It's basically welded to the inside of the upper, just behind the lace holes on either side, so it doesn't actually span the entirety of the inside of the shoe, for those that might be wondering. And the collar itself, it's there for looks, it's there to give you a slightly different fit and feel in the heel area, but there's no performance benefit to it. A lot of people mistake this as some kind of an ankle support system. Really, it's just an extension piece on what would otherwise be a low-cut shoe. It's just there because it's kind of what's popular right now. It's separating Nike from the rest of the pack as far as, I guess, making their shoes a little bit more unique. So that's why they're implementing it here on the Phantom 2, because otherwise, it doesn't really need to be there. It has nothing to do with the rest of what they're doing with this particular upper, but a lot of people like it, so that's why it's an option. Inside the shoe, you do have a synthetic leather liner that does have some fairly minimal padding, if I'm completely honest with you. There's some complications with the heel that we'll talk about a little bit later in the video. The insole is fully removable. It features a mesh liner on top and is made from a single layer of this ortholite foam, as you guys can see. You do, of course, get a compressed nylon, a glass nylon sole plate on this particular shoe that is stiffer than pretty much anything else from Nike at the moment. I would compare it probably most closely to the Magista Obra, which is a little bit more flexible out of the box than this, but honestly over time it gets a lot more flexible, and it's not something that I would say is a negative aspect of this shoe at all. It just kind of adds to the overall responsive, kind of structured feel that you get from the Phantom 2 in general. And then of course you do get the Hypervenom stud pattern that is kind of what you get from the Mercurial line as far as the layout is concerned, but instead of bladed studs, they are conical. So not quite as aggressive as far as traction is concerned, but you still get plenty of bite and obviously that freedom to twist and pivot because of the rounded shape of the stud. So as far as traction is concerned, the Hypervenom line is very good, and really I haven't heard too many people complain about it. I don't mind using it at all. It works well, and on firm natural grass, the traction that it provides, like I said, should be sufficient for most people. So that's pretty much it as far as performance is concerned. Again, if you're looking for a relatively lightweight, thin, extremely responsive, and very structured feel from your shoe, that's exactly what the current generation of Hypervenom, be it the Phantom 2 or the Finish, has on offer. As far as weight is concerned, while the Phantom 2 isn't necessarily the lightest shoe out there, because of the way it fits and feels on your feet, you don't really notice the weight at all, if that makes any sense. So I'm going to weigh this pair for you today in real time using this scale. Keep in mind this is a brand new pair in a size 9 US. We're going to throw them on the scale, and you can see that they weigh in at 7.7 ounces, the equivalent of 219 grams. So in comparison to, let's say, the Superfly 4 or the Magista Obra, the other mid-cut models from Nike, these are give or take half an ounce heavier. Is that significant? Not really, and I don't think it should be the deciding factor if you are trying to pick between the Obra, the Superfly, and the Phantom 2, despite them being all very, very different shoes. But again, if you're looking for that lightweight feel on your feet, you will get that from the Phantom 2. All right, so here is a look at the Phantom 2s on feet. On my left foot, I have the stock black laces that come with the shoes. And on my right foot, I have a pair of neon yellow with black dots premium SR4U replacement laces. If you're interested in a pair of replacement laces for yourself, the website to go to is www.sr4ulaces.com. You'll find a direct link to that website down below in the description of this video. Now, in terms of how these things fit and feel on feet, the Phantom 2 definitely does have a unique feel. Especially when you put them on for the first time. You're either going to love it or hate it. It's really that simple. The upper is thin, It fits pretty tight overall, especially once you tie the laces tight. Your foot is very secure inside the shoe, very locked down sensation, which does play into the overall responsiveness of the shoe. But it definitely has a firmer, kind of rigid feel to the upper against your foot. It's not soft in any way at all. And again, it depends on your own preferences whether or not you're going to like that feel. Very structured, I guess, is the best way to put it as well. As far as break-in is concerned, it does get more flexible over time, but it never really feels soft, and it doesn't really stretch either. So for the most part, the way they fit out of the box is the way they're going to fit for their entire lifespan. Given that this is a mid-cut model from Nike as well, the heel area for a lot of people will feel pretty stiff at first, so it's really important that you take your time with them as far as breaking them in is concerned. Don't wear them straight into a game, don't wear them straight into a free kick session. Really just take things nice and slow, and over the course of a couple hours, taking things slow, you should be pretty much good to go, fully comfortable and ready to do pretty much whatever you want in the shoes. Again, just try to avoid the blisters, try to avoid any kind of discomfort by taking things a little bit more slowly than you would in any other shoe, I guess. As far as width goes, it's a tighter fitting shoe overall, and given that the upper isn't really going to stretch, probably not the best option if you do have wider feet, but if you want that tighter fit from your shoe, these definitely will provide that. And as far as sizing is concerned, I'm wearing my usual size 9 US here, and the fit and the length is absolutely perfect. So if you're looking to order a pair for yourself, I would strongly recommend going true to size in order to achieve the best possible fit. Alright guys, that's it for my review of the Radiant Revealed Nike Hypervenom Phantom 2. If you guys are interested in more info, be sure to check out the review page on my website. That'll be the very first link down below in the description of this video. On that page, you'll find the high quality images of this exact pair that I took myself. That'll give you a better idea as to how they actually do look in person. And of course, you'll also find buy it now links with exclusive SR4U coupon codes, where you'll be able to pick these guys up below their normal $275 retail price. So again, if you're interested in a pair, first link down below, go ahead and check it out. If you have any questions at all regarding this particular shoe, leave them down below in the comments, and I definitely will get an answer out to you. If you enjoyed today's video, found it helpful and informative, be sure to support it with a like. Subscribe if you haven't already for daily videos on all the latest and greatest soccer gear. You can find all my social media information linked in the description as well. Other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video, and as always, thanks for watching.